Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Let's Debrief podcast. I'm Jenna.
And I'm Ashley, and happy Let's Debrief for the last Wednesday of the year.
And
How
that
did we
is
get
insane.
here?
And I hope you guys had a great Christmas.
Yes, yeah, right now we're 2 days removed from Christmas, but in the episode. But currently, we are 3 days before Christmas.
What?
Yeah, the 22nd.
Oh my gosh.
I know, it came so fast. I'm actually so sad.
I love Christmas.
I agree.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love the lights. You want to know something that we have been really being psycho about?
Let's get into it.
How the way that you do your Christmas lights really reflects your pride in your home, your classiness,
For sure.
who you are as a person.
Who you are as a person.
It literally does.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure no one would be shocked by the fact that our lights are very pristine on our house because Cole is type A.
Yeah.
I mean, that's generous, I guess, but
He's
particular.
yeah.
And he does take pride in the house, and so it was a big deal for him this year.
Yeah. It was so funny though because I put on my story. Well, people have been asking us a lot lately because we'll be like, we'll just say a small thing of like, yeah, like it just kind of sucks. We don't like have a lot of friends out here, and people will be like, well, you'll probably just move back to Pittsburgh, right?
You'll give this all up, right?
And we're like, no, like obviously there's pros and cons of everything, but like the pros outweigh the cons significantly of living here instead of Pittsburgh. But it was just funny because the other day we were driving around looking at really classy Christmas lights on like all the Millens houses and stuff and like taking pictures of it. And I was just laughing because I put on my close friend story. I was like, what I used to see every day in Pittsburgh. And if you live in Pittsburgh, you might know what I'm talking about.
She's like, it was a picture of your house.
Across, it's one of the listeners, across from the Edgewood Swissvale get-go.
When you posted that, I knew exactly where it was. And then I drove past it the next day and I was like, I think that was the house.
Oh, yeah. It was just the most insane Christmas lights ever, which also, to be fair, kind of respect it in a way. Like, I respect that more than not doing anything.
Yes, absolutely. It's effort.
But it was just the most absurd lights ever. And I was like, what I saw every day in the city. And then I was like, what I see every day now is all these beautiful stone homes with like
houses.
the perfect little wreaths in each window with the little candles. That is my goal next year. Candles in the windows.
Yes, we drove past a house and he was like, that is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Like, it's so stunning.
Pretty.
Yeah. We were driving through Oakmont a few days ago, and also like kind of like bigger houses.
Oh, I bet those are beautiful lights.
And you have to like drive past it at some point. It's like before you kind of like get to Oakmont Bakery on like that road, whatever. Like as you're passing all of like the numbered houses, like numbered streets, it's like beautiful. And they have all hired the same person to do their lights because it is the straightest, most tightest lines that you've ever seen. And I'm like, that is a work of art.
It's so funny because we shot a wedding last year, maybe. And
just one.
We shot one wedding. The groom we were like, oh, like, what do you guys do for work and stuff? And he was like, I like hang Christmas lights. And we're like, oh. And at the time I was like, okay. But like now, like when I step back and think about like Shady Side and like all of those places, he's like, yeah, it's like very seasonal work, but like in the summers we'll do like landscaping stuff or whatever.
Yeah. That's really nice. I feel like those landscaping guys will turn towards like snow plowing or like Christmas lights and stuff. And so it's like, I feel like I kind of would like that. It's like very different.
A little seasonal. Yeah, not to bring up Daniel again, but he used to work.
If you're single out there and you...
he used to work at a landscaping place. And like in the winter, like we would be in college and we would like all be up like at a party or something. It'd be 2 a.m. He's like, yep, I gotta go. There's a storm coming. I'm gonna have to go plow the roads. And he would be like, he would not sleep. And he would be up at like...
He's a freak of
2
nature.
going and plowing like people's driveways.
That's crazy.
Like rich people's driveways.
I wish. I mean, my driveway's not even like that bad, but that's a goal one year. Call up my landscaping boy. Really come plow the driveway.
Do you guys park like on the road when you know it's gonna snow?
Well, no, I feel like you're not supposed to because the plow will come through.
Oh, well, your driveway would make me a little nervous because it's like so
steep. Yeah. Yeah, Cole has gotten stuck before. And there's just like when we can't get out, it's like, damn, all right.
Well, this is your first winter with the Subi, so hopefully
true.
it gives you.
Yes, like, yeah, we got our Subaru in February, and when we were test driving it, the guy was like, then you can go into sport mode. And he would, but he kept saying, like, this car, like, doesn't have issues in the snow. Like, you just won't have issues.
I'm to be fair, like we've said this a million times, like the snow is nowhere near what it used to be when we were growing up.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, like it would be a blizzard and I would be driving. But like now, there's nothing ever. But I have never slid in the Subaru or Tanner's truck.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. I was telling, maybe it was like Joe and Cole recently, like when I was a nanny, I mean, I only had like little cars up until the Subaru. And because I was just, I mean, grew up in California, like it's just like whatever, the car doesn't really matter. Fuel efficiency is the only thing that matters. And there was one day I was leaving nannying, the mom like got to the house and she was like, okay, like be really, and they lived in like the hills of Murraysville. And she was like, be really careful, like getting home, like it's already freezing over and becoming like black ice. And I was like, oh my gosh. And literally I've never been so terrified. Honestly, my most like fearful moments in life probably came from driving in the snow.
Okay. My most fearful moment ever in my life was this is before we lived in Ligonier and before we had new cars. We had the Cruise.
This.
And it was just very like how it all played out. Like we had like this really old Chevy Cruise that had like really tons of issues. And like that day we went to Tanner's parents' house for dinner and his dad was like, your tires are so bare. Like you need new tires right now. Like they are literally just like bald. Like you're gonna slide anywhere you go. And we're like, okay, whatever, Alan. And then like just so happened, like right after that, this huge snowstorm came. And it hit Pittsburgh and like Ligonier so bad. And so we couldn't like have any of our friends go let Buddy out because they couldn't get to our house. Like the snow was so bad. So we had to get home for Buddy. And the way that you take to get home from Tanner's parents to like Pittsburgh is like miles long uphill and then a mile long downhill and then a mile long uphill and then a mile long downhill.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, like my adrenaline has never been so high in my life. Like we didn't have 4-wheel drive. The tires were bald. There was no one on the roads. And going down terrifies me more than anything.
Yeah, going up, it's a weird feeling of like
you're like
feeling of, yeah, the feeling like if you would to go backwards would really scare me. Like I literally, if I was the passenger, I would abandon ship. I'd be like, you like, get to the top of the hill and then I'll come meet you.
My parents, like at their house on their driveway, which is like very, very like remote, like we would spin going down sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
Or go backwards.
No, it's literally off a cliff.
Yes. We would hit snowbanks. Like, again, growing up, it was so much snowier. Like, when they would plow, it would eventually form, like, 5-foot snowbanks on either side of the driveway. Well, so then sometimes we would sled down. It'd be so fun. But we have spun down. We've gone down backwards. Like, it was, like, survival.
I literally cannot
in
wrap my mind.
4-wheel drive cars.
Yeah, I can't wrap my mind around that. So you guys just, like, how long did it take you to get home that night?
Hours.
I think I remember after, like, you couldn't obviously talk in the moment, but after the fact, you were like, we just had the most insane.
I was like crying. Like, also in that moment, nothing against Tanner's driving skills. I just felt like since I like grew up with like all of those challenges of like the driveway and like all of that, and like he lived in a town, so like it was more like well kept. I was like, I know more what to do right now. Can I please drive? And he was like, no. So I was just in the passenger seat, literally being like, stop, go, no, please, slow down. It was just terrifying. Because the scariest thing is when you go down a hill and you hit the brakes and you start spinning out.
Yes, and that was exactly what was happening to me on that like day. Like there were people
in a town too, like where you could like hit like.
Well, that's the thing. Like they were like, I don't even know if it's worth explaining, but like in Murraysville on 22, like that Sheets. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, they like lived back there, like behind the Sheets. And so it was pretty hilly, but like yeah, I was in. I think my Toyota Corolla, which like I think at that point would have been pretty like newer, so like the tires were at least like still good. But I know I always say this, but I'm like, I actually like I don't know anything about driving in the snow. Like no one ever taught me anything. And so I like as I was going down the hill, I started to brake a little bit, and I was started to slide, and people were like on the sides of the roads. People were in like because like they couldn't get up the hill then, so they were kind of just
You're like, I'm
sitting.
gonna hit another car.
Yeah, that was what terrified me the most.
Yes.
When I literally saw like 22, I was just like, oh my gosh. And of course, like when I got to 22, it was like completely fine. Like the roads there were fine. But I was just like that. And I remember we went, like I had youth that night, and I got to youth. I was like, the roads are crazy. And everybody was like, no.
They're like,
it's
what
fine.
are you talking about?
Yeah.
I used to be so brave in high school, just driving in general, but like driving in the snow, especially. Like I remember my curfew was 11. I'd be at Tanner's house, which is an hour from my parents' house.
I didn't realize it was that far away.
It is like if you're going the speed limit.
Oh, okay.
I had to be home at 11. I would like leave his house at like 10:40 in like a blizzard and drive like 85 miles an hour.
Oh my gosh.
And I was just like, what? And now, oh my gosh. Life
I literally
really,
could never.
you know, makes you lamer.
Lame. Oh, lamer. I thought you said makes you lemur. I was like, what is lemur?
Good. Okay, well, today, do you have any life updates you'd like
We
to
had
share?
a little party last night.
Yes, we did. I forgot.
Yes, we had our second annual Core 5 Christmas, and we did a gift exchange.
Wait, let me just say,
Yeah.
I feel like calling ourselves Core 5 is kind of cringe and kind of like a high school vibe. But
fair.
let me just say, like, it originated so long ago, and
There's no stopping it now.
just how it is. But it's us, it's me, Tanner, Ashley, Cole, Peter.
Yeah,
Core 5.
Core 5. We did a gift exchange, and last year we did steaks.
Yes.
And this year we were looking like where we go from here. And I think it was you had the idea for homemade pasta.
I think, yeah.
Yeah. And so,
Well,
you know,
I wanted something that we could like all do together. Like, obviously, not that I was mad about this or anything, but I feel like last year, because like you can really only make one steak at a time, and I was making the steaks, like I was serving them to each person, then going back in the kitchen, and I like wasn't like hanging out. And I was like, I want to do something where we can all hang out and like make it together, so it's not like me or anyone is like not able to be around.
yeah. And so, yeah, we did pasta, and I've never made pasta before. You, Peter, and Tanner have made pasta before
In
in
Italy.
Italia. And
So we really know, you know.
they really just ran the whole thing. Like, Jenna kicked me out of the kitchen multiple times. She's like, you don't know what you're doing.
I was speaking fluent Italian.
Yeah. But it was so fun. And like
It was so good.
so good. And I don't know if she listens, but shout out to Nick and Becca for the recipe.
Yes, he gave us the recipe, which the thing that actually kind of makes me sad, going back to our kitchen gadget conversation, is I don't think I would do it without the stand mixer and pasta thing. Mm-hmm. And Ashley had it.
The stand mixer like mixed all the dough together, and then we had an attachment. We got both these things for our wedding. We got the attachment that like rolls out the pasta for you, and then also cuts out the pasta for you. So
And it made it so fun and satisfying. But unfortunately, I don't think I would do it if I didn't have those gadgets.
much more work.
So I'm like, should I get them? Also, like, this might be annoying, but like, is there like anything other than like a KitchenAid stand mixer? Like, do I have to spend $250?
No, like I was actually just looking on MacBid too. I just like because there was a KitchenAid on there, and I just like searched mixer, I think, and there were different brands that like came up. You don't like just look on Amazon.
Yeah, because like I don't like getting things that are like so cheap that it's like it's gonna break. But also I'm like, again, I don't think I would use it that much, and I would maybe probably only use it for the pasta, or maybe here and there if I like baked something.
Yeah, it does just come in handy for like even just cookies
Yeah.
and just random stuff, especially like something that you can like just think if you get back into sourdough again, you could just like
know.
have it mix it for you.
Wait, have you done that before?
I don't think so. But like it has the dough hook, and so literally you just throw the water in like the
Really? But what about the kneading it out on the counter?
like once it's like done, then you can like
That's the
knead
thing
it.
that deters me from doing sourdough now is that like you have to like have it sitting out on your counter all day and it gets so messy and it's like
I
flour
know. I want to
everywhere.
get back into it so bad, but right now my starter is deader than dead, just sitting on my
Mine
counter.
is dead too, and I'm just like, it's just also I don't have much counter space. I'm like, I'm really gonna take it up with like a huge floury loaf of bread. Maybe when Monty gets a little bit older and like wants to like help me like do
Are you
stuff.
gonna get her like I don't know if you had it like on her Christmas list or anything, like the stand, like the kitchen.
Okay, so
Gyms or
I
whatever?
had it on. She's talking about like one of those little like toddler stands that like they can help in the kitchen.
Yeah, but it like keeps them safer or something.
I had it on her birthday list, and then for some reason, like 2 months before her birthday, I've been compiling the list for a long time. I was like, I don't know if she'll use this, and I took it off. And my mom was like, I was gonna get her that, like I wanted to get her that, and I was like, I just don't know if she'll use it. Like I don't know if she's old enough. Then of course her birthday comes. I'm like, well, I
Well.
think she would use it now. But I'll probably just give it on Marketplace.
Yeah, I feel like people, like, I think was it one of the podcasts that we're listening to? I think
The
was-
Bad Broadcast.
Yeah, it was talking about this, that too much stuff exists in the world. Someone is always reselling something. You can get
Just
something
get it
on
used.
MacBid. Like even like there was like a gadget or something like that Jenna wanted for the stroller, and I just looked up on MacBid and I was like, oh, I found it here for $6. Like
Yeah, that
it's
was
just
so
like,
nice of you.
oh, thanks. But it's like just stuff like that where I'm like, I feel like unless it's like certain necessities like diapers, I'm like, we don't need to be paying full price for anything anymore.
No, especially like the whole thing with having kids is like when you are done having kids and when you're done with that item, you have absolutely no use for it. Like it's not like it's like maybe I'll wear this dress. I don't know if I want to get rid of it. It's like this will not fit this. It will not fit another person. And say it's like a baby doll and your kid is 12 years old. It's
Yeah.
like either give it to someone or sell it because like it's not going to regress. It's not going to go backwards.
I think, yeah, like I'm sure as a parent, you're like, especially like if Monty, like when Monty grew out her newborn stuff, you're like, oh, like it holds so many memories and stuff.
sorry.
And I've seen some people recently, there was like one of our friends had her baby shower and her mom she's having a girl and her mom kept all of her dresses and then like hung up photos with it. I was like, come on, like that is so cute. And so but I feel like you have to be selective. Like it's like, oh, I love, like obviously like over there you have a sweater of like it says Monty's name on it. It's like, okay, well I'm not going to go give that to somebody else. Like it's just really cute to like hold on to. So you need to pick like 10 to 20 items that like you're like, oh my gosh, like these hold so much good memories, or it's really, really cute, and then just give everything else to someone who needs it.
But then it's also hard because you're like, well, if I have another baby, like, will they need this? Like, maybe it's not my favorite thing, but like, I don't want to have to buy another white onesie. And then it's like, well, do I just save this? My friend Nika and I were just talking about this. She was like, I feel like I need to buy like a vacuum sealer for baby clothes so that it can be like more condensed.
Cole and I do that just with our like winter wear. Like once,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, you have one
Well, you just get the bags and then you vacuum it out.
with just a vacuum?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I'll send you. I'll send you.
shocked.
You have like a vacuum that has like a hose with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm shocked. Yeah, because I bought actually at Walmart a few months ago. They were having a sale on like big, just like black bins.
Nice.
It was like, they were like $6 each or something. So I bought like 10 of them. Almost all of them are full. Don't ask me with what. Like it's
Oh, wow.
literally,
Is it all
I
Monty
packed
things?
like all of her newborn stuff, all of my breast pumps, like all of like her toys that she grew out of, like all of her like crib stuff from like when she had like a small crib. And it's like almost all full.
That's crazy.
But I'm also like, okay, this is like the biggest influx of stuff I'll have.
yeah.
First
But if you
baby.
if you put all of her stuff in the vacuum bags and then like that'll like probably take up so much less space if
Yeah.
like all of her clothes are spread out amongst bins. Just like label the bag and be like newborn, and then like vacuum
Yeah.
seal it, and you're good. Especially kids' clothes. I have to imagine it'll literally be this thick.
I know. It'd be so annoying though if you're like, I just want this one thing out, but then you like have to break it. Do you have to just cut the bag to like?
No,
get
it's
it
like
out?
sealed like a Ziploc.
Really.
Yeah. We use them for traveling.
I'm so shocked.
Yeah, I'll send you.
Traveling would be so nice.
Well,
we always have little hacks.
Katie and Ed, when they went to Europe, got like the vacuum bags that like basically like they don't essentially require a vacuum. I think it's like you fold it and it like sucks the air out, and then like you twist it up, but it's like tries to condense it. But Cole and I have just regular ones that you like suck out with a vacuum. And when we go to Florida, especially because we only take
bring a
backpacks.
backpack.
We will put all of our clothes in like the bag, vacuum it, put it in the backpack, and then honestly, you still have room for like your laptop, your like toiletries, and it's like
Wow.
really nice and
is
convenient. But you have to think about it
When you come
there's going to
back.
be a vacuum. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
because we're going to my parents, so it's like okay, like yeah, but there's a vacuum there.
Yeah, that would be. I've been struggling so much with Costa Rica because, like, we are going to fly La Trobe to Orlando and then stay a night and then Orlando to Costa Rica. And, like, on Spirit, you have to pay for the bags
And per
each
flight.
way per flight. So it's 4 flights. I'm adding on even just one. You have to pay for a carry-on and a checked.
Your personal
And-
item has to go a long way. It's like you
Yeah.
and Tanner both will get personal items, so as much as you can fit in your backpacks.
Yeah. Which mine will just be like her diaper bag stuff. But I'm like, okay, if I just do one check bag, even that adds on like $200 to the whole trip. So I'm like, we got to make this work. But I mean, depending
I
on
will send
being a
you-
vacuum there, I'm like, that probably won't happen.
Yeah, I can ask Katie too, like the ones that she got, because yeah, they were just kind of, they would roll out, and like that helped like take some air out of it and then condense stuff in like a carry-on
When we went to Europe and we just took backpacks
for your like baby
for a
moon one.
baby moon, yeah. It was so funny because like the way that we packed everything, literally we rolled everything to the smallest thing that we possibly could. And like each time we would like leave, because we went to like 4 different places, and like having to repack the backpacks, we're like, where did we put this? Like, there's no way this is all gonna fit in this backpack.
How
Then
did this
every
work?
time we were like, okay, we got it all in. Then we would get to the next place, and then like the next time we'd be like, there's just no way. And Tanner would be like, where were the shoes? Like, how did it fit?
Just not remembering every single time.
It was,
That's
and
so
then
funny.
like carrying them though through the airport sucks.
Yeah,
and, like,
'cause
we had
it's
like our
stuck with
cameras
you.
and stuff.
Yeah. Cole and I, like when we went to, I love like having a carry-on. Like I do like having like my stuff close and knowing that like
It's with me.
it's with me.
safe.
It's going to get there. Like for Greece, we both did personal items, like just our backpacks, and then we shared a carry-on because we were like, it's not worth it. And it was so heavy and like bursting at the seams, but
And when
it was
you're-
so nice.
When you like get into a long line at the airport and you're just like standing there, it's like weighing on your shoulders. You're just like, please God, take this pain.
Luckily, like the Cole is a gentleman, and like our carry-on, like honestly, it expands pretty far. So like he would let me put my backpack on, and I would just roll the whole thing.
Oh, that's so nice. I would love to make like this probably exists. I've actually been thinking of a lot of things lately. I'm like, should I invent that?
Yeah, should I become
One
a
of the
millionaire off
things-
of this?
One of the things that I thought about inventing.
Well, should you release it to the world?
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. I found out it already exists. Well, my mom actually told me I should invent it. Was like a necklace that's like that babies can
Yeah, chew on.
bite on, like for teething. Because like when Monty was really little, she would always grab my necklace and eat it. And I found out it exists, but they're really ugly.
They are ugly.
So I'm like, okay, maybe I can make a cute one, but like thinking of like the logistics of how to make it cute, I'm like, well, what if it was like this material? It kind of does have to be like a chunky, like rubber,
Oh, yeah.
which makes
It's literally
it ugly.
like a giant chew toy.
Literally.
Or like teething toy.
But the other thing I was thinking I could invent is like a
The person that originated that necklace is like Oh, you think you could do
Oh,
better?
Interesting. You try patenting it, sweetheart. Sorry, the other thing that I was like, oh, this would be a good invention is like a backpacker's backpack. Like that you could literally take, like if people who like go through the mountains with like tents and stuff on it that also like can be wheeled. Because I was thinking of that when we were in Europe. Because Tanner brought we actually both brought backpacks that are like really tall and like big. And I was like,
I'm
if
shocked.
I could just
Well, I guess that was
wheel
just like
this.
were you able to put it in like the overhead bin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, though, the one flight to Switzerland, they were like, sorry, you need to check that. And then they made us pay. And we were like, okay. Let me try to find a picture of it. The most like convenient thing on earth is like the months thing.
Yes, the
I'm
months
like,
thing.
well, I know what month it is.
And Cole always utilizes like the location.
Yes.
Like one too, where it's like, oh, when we were in California, like what did we do that day? And he was like, well, I know it was in 2020 and I know that we were in California.
I always remember the dates that I was somewhere. So I'm just like, oh, June of 2022. Perfect. Okay.
Well, backpack on wheels. Yes.
Yeah, I'll show you the picture. But today we are talking about
Goals.
our New Year's resolutions. And this is actually crazy because here's a picture. This is crazy because we did this episode last year. We did our New Year's resolutions. And now we're back. We're circling back. Do you have your list that you did last year? We can see if you kept up with it.
Cole and I actually looked at them recently because so Cole, I saw this on TikTok, but like didn't realize that Cole and I had actually done it last year. Like we basically made a date of like going to like a coffee shop and writing out our goals for the year.
Yes.
And I just thought that was really cute. So we did that this week and we like looked back. Cole like really accomplished his list.
That's so cute.
It was so cute. It was like start a business with Tan, sell a painting, I forget like some of but there was like a list of like 7 things and it was so cute.
Good for him.
I know. He's a king for that. Mine, I am trying to remember. Obviously it was be alcohol free, which I'm so close.
Yeah, you've done great.
Thank you.
You had one moment that you were like, I'm gonna drink when you went to Mexico right at the beginning of the year.
Oh, well, yeah, at the beginning of the year.
Because you're at the all-inclusive. You're like, I'm going to.
Yeah.
But that was your only time.
And, I said in the U.S.
That was a specification.
I was on Mexican soil.
They can't tell what my goals are when I'm there.
But, yeah, I honestly don't. I wrote down a lot of things.
I think one of both of ours was make money from our podcast, which we have made $36.
So we're millionaires.
It is working.
It's working. And next year we're going to see $62.
Mark our words.
Mark our words. Honestly, like I feel like obviously I haven't gotten into it yet, but my goal for 2023 for the podcast would be to get our first like real sponsorship. Like that would be really cool.
That would be great. I feel like I'm like, let's discuss the business now. But I'm like,
welcome to a business meeting.
I feel like we should just like hire like some like high schooler to like make reels of the podcast. I feel like that's what we need is reels.
That is honestly so fair.
Like
Izzy Nolf, if you're listening to
how much does that cost? Seriously.
Cole like was talking to someone that is like a business like that has like a fully functioning business that has a podcast, and he was going to make reels for him. And that was like $75 to $100. But
like per episode?
Yes.
See, that's not that bad. Like I'm thinking like if we did a high schooler too, it's like, okay, $50 and we split it, or
if you
even less.
Are interested in making reels for us because Cole is busy, then reach out to us. Like actually though, like DM Jenna or I, because we would love that. We just don't have the time.
I feel like if it was like just like a high school or college girl that like listens already and like thinks we're funny, like knows the like humor of us, that they could pull out the funnier parts. I feel like that would be great. Like We have to do like something.
Yeah, I mean, we're never like,
We
yeah,
need
we're
to-
not posting on TikTok or like just our weekly Instagram of like, hey, an episode dropped. And so
I feel like we have very consistent listeners, but it's not like
we're reaching anybody new. Also, we hit 500 followers finally on Instagram.
hell yeah.
You know
brother.
what? It might be time for another giveaway.
I think it'd be fun to do winter merch.
Yeah. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, I feel like we just swung so hard with the first one that I'm like, I don't even know what to make the second one.
I have an inspiration photo. I won't say it, but I'll just show it to you.
Ooh,
Of
okay.
something I saw, and I was
A
like,
little live
this
reaction?
is so cute. When did I screenshot it?
You could go to your screenshot folder.
It was like yesterday, literally.
Oh, that's the most
So I'm
annoying. Where
it
you're
has
like,
to
wait,
be
where
right
is
here.
it?
Oh, wait, I should add, I would just want to share this random thing. Oh, here it is. Monty's passport came back in 2 weeks.
And it was the cute. Oh, I like that. We talked about that last episode. The cutest photo of all
Yeah,
time.
I paid to expedite it. It came in 2 weeks, but they didn't ship her birth certificate back with it.
Oh,
Will it come separately? It better.
Well, yeah, it better.
I mean,
that's on them. Like,
yeah.
Kohl's, I think, came with it.
Now that she has her passport, I don't think it's as crucial that she would have her birth certificate. You need the birth certificate if you don't have like a form of ID to prove that they're under 2 if they're going to be a lap child. If you don't pay for their ticket for them, they're just on your lap. You have to be able to prove they're under 2. But since she has a passport, I'm like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
But also give me her birth certificate back.
Yeah, no, I feel like I would be shocked if like you didn't get it back in a few weeks. You might just come and make sure that you open all like elusive mail.
anything.
Because it won't be like from the Department of like
Yeah.
whatever, Social Security.
I really want to tell you right now a gift that I got for Tanner, but I'm afraid that he can hear.
Do you want to whisper? They always tune us out. Like I'll be like, "Oh, did you hear the funny part of the podcast?" And they're like, "No."
They're like, no. Well, I'm afraid that he'll hear the buzzword. Let me just go look at where he's sitting really fast.
Oh, okay. Just a little check-in.
Definitely not listening.
Okay.
Okay. So, sorry if you hear
We'll drown
Monty.
out. Monty will drown us out.
If you
You walking? Okay, might need to wait till later.
yeah, it's fine.
Sad.
I got him
ASMR.
for him and his mom to go to a live Lord of the Rings showing where the symphony.
Did you see him repost
Yeah,
that the
yeah.
other day?
The
Did you already get it for
symphony
him?
plays along the score.
I've been to one of those before for like a movie, and it was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, and that's like him and his mom's favorite thing ever. And the reason I thought of that
okay.
is because it's supposed to. I won't. It's supposed to come in an envelope in the mail, and I'm
Oh,
like,
interesting.
where is it?
Yeah, that's stressful. When did you do that?
A few weeks ago.
Oh, okay, before.
No, after.
Oh, okay, that's really cool.
I looked at it. It's all international except for one, which is in Cleveland.
Nice.
Anyways,
That is a home run of.
Thank you.
That is really, really good.
I tried really hard on gifts this year for him since last year I didn't do a great job.
Literally 4 weeks postpartum, but.
It's okay. Okay.
Do you have any you wanted to? What did you keep up with this year?
Okay. One I got that I did get was finally see the Northeast.
Yes.
I don't know.
It's so funny making goals because you're like of like things you already know. Like for this, I'm like travel to Europe with Cole.
Literally, I'm like, have a child turning 1. Obviously. But yeah, finally see the Northeast. That, like, I obviously knew I was doing it, but also it was a goal for a long time because I had never gone. And I feel like finally venturing up there, like, it checked off so many states for me that I haven't
For
been
real,
to.
just driving through, yeah.
Which a lot of people have been posting that thing of like where they've been. I want to do that because I think I'm really close.
It's fun just to lay it all out. Like Tanner and I both just did it and like posted it on our close friends beat. And like, I think I'm like 10 or 12 short, and it's all those middle states that's just like, oh, that's so annoying.
Do you think it counts if you've like driven through it on a road trip?
Well, I don't know, because I kind of left some of the, it depends. I don't know, because there was definitely some that I was like, oh, I know I've like stopped there before. But there were, like when we were in like Northeast, I'm sure we drove through Rhode Island or something one
Yeah,
time.
you
and
put that you didn't go there, but you definitely did.
Okay. Yeah.
You should check those off. I think it counts if you drove through it because it's like,
I have stepped foot in this place.
well, it's like an effort to like be there. Like it's not like, I think a layover doesn't count.
No, a layover does not count.
Yeah, but like if you are driving to California and you pass through Kansas, it's like, yeah, you went to Kansas. You literally put in the effort to drive to California. Like that counts.
Okay. We have a wedding in May in Seattle and we're flying, but for a brief second I was like, if we drove and checked off all this.
No. Honestly, yeah, Tanner used to always be like, let's just drive like to Montana or like wherever. And this was when we had our crappy cars. And I was just like, please,
You're like, we
no.
will never make it.
But I really do wish that before we had kids that we would have just pulled the trigger on one car, a reliable car, the Subaru preferably, because that would have been...
Oh,
it
like
would have
you
been so
have,
much easier.
you're saying like having a reliable car. Like,
Yeah, because
okay.
then we could have done that, but I just never would because I was afraid of breaking down. But like, I just wish in general that we would have just got a reliable car earlier because like we could have afforded it and we just didn't.
Did you always have like you guys got the Cruise, like that was like Tanner's high school car, and then that was your only? No, you had your other one because then you guys got the truck.
Yeah, we had my car that I bought after college, which was literally a $4,500 Mazda.
Okay.
And then, yeah, Tanner had his high school car, which was the Cruise. And then we sold the Mazda.
Oh, okay.
I took the Cruise. He bought the truck, which was also a piece of crap. It was during COVID he bought it.
I remember when he bought it and he was like so excited about it and he was just like, it was so cheap. And I was like, is there a reason for that?
Well, even now he's like, I want to like sell the Tacoma and like get a
He's an older
old
truck.
cheap truck.
Yeah.
Which now I'm like, that would work out because we have
a dependable
a
one.
dependable car.
When you guys leave like to go to something as a family, do you take the Subaru?
There's no car seat or anything in the truck. We've gone in the truck like 2 times.
Okay.
And so we just don't need it. So I'm like, you should like get an older truck.
Yeah. But he's like locked in, isn't he? Like you have to like.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
But
not like he could sell it or anything since it's a lease.
yeah.
Okay.
But the guy, I don't know if like salesmen are like lying or what, but he was like, you can like come back and like trade it for a different truck if you want. That's like a lower payment. Just like if you just like want to or just don't care. Or like you can get out of it. We knew the guy, but he was like, you can get out of it like whenever, just like tell me. I'm like, is that true?
Yeah, I don't know.
But also, you want to know something crazy? Tanner's sister leases a car, and her dad was like, go in there and tell them you only want to pay
X amount of money.
$250 or whatever per month. And she's like, okay. She goes and she's like, I only want to pay $250. I'm just making up that number. They're like, okay, we can do $300. Originally, it's like $350, and she's like, no, $250. And his dad literally said, after you say it 3 times, walk out. And so she like said it, and then they're like, no, like we'll do like $275. She's like, okay, then I'm leaving. And he's like, they'll call you. And they did. And
That's
I'm like,
crazy
why
how
didn't you
desperate
tell
they are.
us to do that?
Yeah. You don't have to say. I was gonna say, is the payment high?
Yeah.
Okay. Lisa's like my payment with the Corolla was pretty high. And then literally the minute I went to buy it and like was getting a new loan, it dropped by like $150.
Yeah, it's annoying because, like, again, we didn't really need the new truck, but we got the truck before the car. So it was like, we need a vehicle that works.
Yeah.
And so it was like, let's just do this. And then now it's like, well,
Did you get the Subaru before Monty was born?
we put the down payment on it, but then we went and picked it up like she was with us.
Okay.
But it was just so like, we need a good car. So like, let's just get one. And then now it's like that we have the Subaru. It's like, we don't really need this. Like,
Yeah.
it would be fine to just get something older, even if we kept the old truck, which it was sucking the life out of us. But like, even if we just,
But
got,
if
like,
you just drove it around town, like
Yeah.
it would have gotten you places.
yeah. Anyways,
Cole and I have also been talking about like a second car for like event, like because we just have the one, and we're just like, okay, eventually like we want to have kids, and we're like, if he like, even like when like Farrah stayed with us and like that weekend, like I was like, okay, like I'm gonna take her to the zoo, and he was just like he had work to do, and so it like worked out that he could stay home, but he was like, that was kind of eye-opening of like, I don't want to be trapped at home. And then he was like, vice versa, if you leave or if I leave, I don't want you to be trapped at home. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I feel that 100%. There has been like, there's few moments where it's like, hey, like we both need a car right now. But when it is, it's like we both need a car right now. And so I think definitely the best move if you're not rich is like a beater.
Yeah,
Not
and
a
that's what I'm
beater,
like,
but like it just an
you
older.
can get like a 2012, 2015, like, and our Subaru stands now, and I'm like, let's go get a Crosstrek.
I know. I'm like, we always talk about cars. It's so funny. I'm like, I want to get like a 3-row car eventually. I love the 4Runners. I love like an all black 4Runner. And I'm like, well, should we just keep the Subaru and then have that and then the 4Runner? But then I love having a truck. It's just such a good vibe. You have to go pick up firewood. Take the truck. You got to get a couch off Marketplace. You need help moving?
That it does come in handy for that. Like when we helped Peter move, his mattress barely fit inside the Subaru with like all seats like pushed forward. Like honestly, like my dream like family car is the Ascent.
That's what Meg has. Meg and Bernie.
Oh, nice.
They just got that.
Oh, I see it driving around, and I'm like, you're gonna be mine one day.
Nika and Nick bought a 3-row Kia, and they sold both of their cars. So they share a car now, but she has to drive him to work every day.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
It is cute.
What if you like take him lunch too?
I know. It's really cute. And they live in Tennessee, and he works in Franklin. Do you know where that is?
Yeah.
It's like
Well,
so
I've seen the
cute.
vibes. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, oh no, I have to go get a coffee.
Yes,
And like it seems
literally.
like there's always a bunch of good kid stuff too.
Yeah. So it's just fun.
All right, moving on.
Sorry. My
Oh, no, you're
other goal that I didn't do is breastfeed all year.
Didn't you make it to like 6 months though? Wasn't that like your short term goal?
I made it to 8 months.
Okay.
But I stopped in June or July. So my goal was to do it all of 2023.
Oh, okay. You know, sometimes you got to pick mental health.
Well, my boobs weren't making any more milk. There's nothing else I could do. I was
bone dry.
I was pumping every second I could, and nothing was coming out. Drink raw milk every day. I did that. Probably almost every day.
When you put it in your coffee, it makes it really easy.
Yes. Oh, I come down in the middle of the night and chug it every single night.
For real?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I've never been a milk person like that. Like I feel like growing up.
Did
people
you
would be
drink
like,
it as a kid? Like when
Only
you're
in
like in a
cereal.
sippy cup?
Oh, maybe I'm sure I did.
I like always did in a sippy cup, even when I was like, I guess not in a
I feel like
sippy.
when I was 10.
I guess not in a sippy, but I would always drink in a sippy, and then I would like transition to a glass, and like I just always had milk with like dinner and stuff.
Oh yeah, no, like that was just not a thing for us at all. And so
Really?
like, yeah, the raw milk, like I put it in my smoothies and I put it in my coffee, and I'm like, cool. But like and like I understand like a glass of milk with like cookies and stuff like that, or like a rich cake. I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand that. But Joe and Brett will come over to our house and Bryce and just chug it by the glassful, and I'm like, I cannot relate.
I always do that. It's so good. I love the taste of the specific brand of raw milk that we get, at least at this season. The
feel like it
different
all tastes the
grasses that
same.
they eat, like I can taste like the grass.
Oh, interesting.
Take Monty outside every day. I did that. No alcohol. I did that. There's a few that I didn't do that I won't say because
Share them. Share your failures with us.
I can't.
I can't bring myself to do it.
Okay.
Cool.
You want to say your goals for
Sure.
this year?
Yeah. Let's see. I think I had just found it, and of course I clicked away from it.
I only have a few.
I only have a few either too.
I couldn't really think in the moment.
This is a very adult goal. I
Make $1 million.
literally, I did put I think I said this like last year too. Like I put a lofty goal in it for our savings account, in which I didn't meet because it was pretty big, but I was like, I believe in us. But I will say this year was like the year that we really got like our finance. I mean, it was our first year married, but I've been an independent adult for a while with very irresponsible money decisions. And this
I never thought you were irresponsible.
I mean, the savings account was never deep, and it was just always like, I don't know, like I actually have zero regrets whatsoever. Like I am not in debt or anything. So it's not like I was like max out this, whatever, but it would be like, oh, should I save this $300 or book a flight to California? Or we're going to Seattle or like whatever. Like whenever a trip came up, I was like, threw caution to the wind, did not care. I would do anything to make it happen, which looking back, I'm like, yeah, no regrets. Like
Absolutely, yeah.
And like Cole and I are so lucky to be in the position specifically around housing that we are. And so I feel like this year really like accomplished maybe what my parents were wanting for us of like, get your finances in order and like kind of establish that. So we had a good emergency fund set up, and then, which I don't know, like, I feel like you've said before, like Tanner kind of does like the finances, but we set up a Roth IRA this year and maxed that out, which that was in a very short term amount of time. And so I was very excited about that because obviously like when we don't have full-time jobs and we're, what's the word I'm looking at? Self-employed, like half of the year as well.
What's our retirement look
literally
like?
And I got on the finance side of TikTok, which is like kind of, I was gonna say just weird that like literally I learned more from TikTok than I did in school. But they were like, here's how to invest, here's how to set up a Roth IRA. If you start at the age of 25, I turned 25 this year, like you're going to be so set up for like when you retire. And so I was like, sick.
There's so many things too about your kids. Like if you put this amount into this type of account, they'll be a millionaire by this age. And it's like, oh, like how? Like I also
it just
feel
feels
like
it's so gate kept. I'm like, why doesn't anybody know about this? Why don't they want their kids to be successful?
I feel like we are the first generation who, like, if you're not in the finance world, you wouldn't know that before now. Like, it's the first generation of, like, this information is so accessible to the general public. Even, like, I am so thankful because Tanner puts a lot of money, invests it into the stock market. Mm-hmm. And I, like, literally know nothing about it. But, like, that used to, I mean, I don't know exactly how it used to be, but from what I've seen, like, in movies, is like, you would literally call someone and be like, hello,
I'm going to need this.
I'm going to send you a check for $100. Can you put it into this thing?
So stressful.
Meanwhile, now it's like just on your phone. Oh, I'm going to sell this. Okay, now I'm going to put it in this. Oh, like his notifications constantly. Ethereum is rising. You should do this with it. This. Then there's all these TikToks. Guess this is probably going to happen next week. It's like we have so much access.
Information. Yeah. And so that would, like, I literally taught myself how to, I mean, it's very self-explanatory. And one girl also commented on our Instagram. I saw that. And she was like, yeah, we need a whole, like, finance class, which an episode in the new year with Ed is coming. And also, we haven't done Cole said the other day, he was like, have you guys ever done a Q&A, just, like, ask you guys anything? And I was like, maybe, but, like, a while ago.
Well, that would be good.
So maybe we'll set that up in the new year. So if you have any finance questions, I can tell you what I know. I'm not an expert by any means. So that like gave me a huge sense of accomplishment. And
that's great.
I like, while we didn't meet like our savings goal, I just feel like we had money spread out like into different things that I set up a high yield savings account. And like, so that has like been growing. And then like seeing the money grow in the Roth IRA, I was just like, okay, like I'm feeling good.
Can you see the Roth like on just an app on your phone? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. We used Fidelity, and literally all you have to do is like open account, Roth IRA information, and then you can just start. You can like put up to $6,500 into it for the year.
Okay.
So just like set up like for the new year, because like I only discovered it like halfway through the year, so like I kind of was like crunching.
Yeah.
But next year I'll just be like, all right, like $500 a month in there.
Yeah.
And just set it and forget about it.
Yeah, that's
but also
really
I want
great.
to respect, like I understand for a lot of like literally put whatever you can in there, because I understand that's not like $500 is a lot. And so let's not just like throw it away.
I was listening to this one podcast that we both listened to a long time ago, but this really stuck with me. She was like, whenever I like am like browsing on like whatever and I'm like, ooh, I should like get this shirt. Like I want this shirt. It's like $50. And then she's like, I don't know. I might not get it. But then she's like, if I was willing to spend the $50, I'm going to transfer it to my savings or to whatever.
Yeah.
Because like I have the money. Clearly I could have bought the shirt.
Yeah.
But it's smarter of me to do this. And I was like, oh, that's really smart.
Yeah.
But going along with your goal, my goal is to spend less money this year. And also we have been putting like basically double mortgage payments down, which really hurts, but just getting a lot more money into the house.
Yeah. I think I've seen people do this in the past. This is such a deep cut of a person, but someone like I knew through Heather, she did a year of no spending money on clothes. And I definitely don't think I'll shoot that high, but I think I said to Cole, I was like, it would be fun like 1 month to like do like each month to change up what the no spend is.
Ooh,
like
yeah.
No spend. I just think like after like the no drinking, I was like,
it's
a fun little game with yourself. And so I was like, I feel like I have so many clothes. I could go an entire month easily without spending money on clothes.
Oh yeah.
Like I would just have to cancel my Nuuly and then it's like use what you have.
Yeah. I was thinking, I just feel like we spent so much money like on the holidays this month.
Yeah.
Going back to our gift episode, like I just get so anxious about gifts that I feel like this year I was just like, I don't care. Like just get something that they'll like. I don't care what brand it is. I don't care how much it costs. Like they just, if this is what they want, like let's just get it. And I feel like we spent so much on it. I was like, we should actually try to do like only like gas and groceries in January and bills.
Yeah.
Like, what else do we need? It's January. Tanner has a ski pass, so it's not like we're like spending like, oh, I want to go skiing, but I can't.
Yeah.
Like he has a pass. Just go.
Just like use resources that you already have. Like I think, yeah, we have so much stuff that it's just like even Cole and I like we've been home a lot more recently and like we'll like watch movies and I'm like, okay, like I'm kind of bored of this. Literally open my closet, have Scrabble, have a puzzle, and I'm like,
Yeah.
why wasn't I doing this?
Yeah, like just being more creative. I also don't know if I've said this on the podcast, but just like trying to think of things to do with Monty that are like free,
Fun,
but like
unique.
fun, like the library. Like I've been going to like the libraries in all the surrounding towns and like figuring out when their story time is. There's like a few places that will do like little kids, like there's a place that does like a little music class for like babies.
Have you guys gone to a story time?
Yes.
Okay. What did she think of it? Whatever.
Wants to crawl around,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's just good to be there. Just like doing stuff like that. That's not like, oh, we have to go to this like place and buy this thing and like get a toy and then go. I don't know.
I do feel like even Farrah was hanging out with me the other day and we went to Old Navy and like she like, ugh, it's like the cutest thing ever. She's obsessed with Minnie Mouse and she saw a sweater that had like Minnie on it and she sprinted over to it and grabbed it and was like, oh, Minnie. And I was like, done. And
You're like, I have to buy it. That's how I feel too. Like we were in the thrift store the other day, which is literally the thrift store. But Monty saw this dog that would sing Celebrate Good Times Come On and its ears would flap up and down. I'm like, I have to buy it for you. Then I'm like, no, I don't. I don't have to.
no.
But I want to.
And I feel like when I've been a nanny or like helping like my friends out with their kids, every activity is surrounded like for me because I'm like, oh, it's one day, like whatever, like is surrounded with money. I'm like, oh, and like
is.
I don't know. I just feel like if I would love to be like a stay-at-home mom one day, and if that was me, I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to rein this in a little bit.
Yeah, and like I even feel like the little treat culture has gotten a little out of hand. Like yesterday, Tanner and I went to a coffee shop in the morning because we were just like,
Let's get out.
we were just like, she kind of slept in and we were just like, what are we going to do this wake window? Like we need to clean the house, but like she is going to nap in like a while and stuff. So we're like, let's just go get a coffee and like walk around a little bit. We both got a coffee. We got a cookie with tip. It was $20. And then of course we got a freaking ticket. So that was $10 more.
I feel like I've never gotten a ticket in Ligonier.
The ticket lady here is
Isn't it just one
relentless.
lady?
Yeah, and she's been here like my whole life, and
That's
she
crazy.
is nutso. But literally, like, then it's a $30 outing just because we're like, let's just
get
go.
out. Yeah.
But it's like we don't have to do that. We could go on a walk around our neighborhood and make our own coffee.
Yeah.
And it would be fine. But
I have really tried to crack down on coffees as well. Like we had like a staff party, and it's a long story, but I got like a Starbucks gift card, and I was like, oh, okay, like whatever, and like added it to my account, and then I was like, it was like $30 like worth that was on my account, and I was like, this is literally like 3 Starbucks trips between Cole and I. Like
Less than that.
Yeah, might not even
Probably
be
2.
And so I, for some reason, have push notifications from Starbucks, and so they'll tell me like when.
I need
like
to add one that
deals.
someone sent me. Sorry.
They'll send me like deals and stuff of like, oh, today we're doing this or whatever. And literally I've been like, oh, okay, well, like yesterday was half off a drink. And so I was like, well, I have to go. Like it's half off.
Yeah, I know.
But like
There was a
that,
free hot chocolate day.
okay,
And
yes.
But then you had to buy something
Yes.
because we went. I was like, oh, I want a little peppermint hot chocolate since it's free.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, you have to get another one. And I was like, okay.
I know if you're like a couple, it's like, oh, that's nice. Like, but also I like it tricks you because they're like, I wouldn't have stopped for a hot chocolate.
No, I don't really even like them that much.
Yeah. No, I agree. I am trying to get better with that as well because we have a coffee machine. And so it's like anytime I want coffee, it's like, well, make your own. And like before you go do your little things. But like it is, I don't know. There are so many things. We need to really like crack down on our gym memberships too. Like I have ClassPass and then we have a Planet Fitness membership, which I really like that. But then we also just got a Lululemon mirror because of like my sister works for Lululemon, and please do not judge us. No, literally like for this deal we got like we had to pay
Like
taxes and shipping.
95%
Yeah,
off.
because the Lululemon mirrors are so stupid expensive for no reason. And so we got that, and now you have to pay the Lululemon membership every month on it to like have access to like
Really?
yeah, like the fitness stuff, which it's like, okay. And so now I'm like, okay, like I think I'm gonna have to cancel ClassPass. There is no reason I need 3 active gym memberships. Like this is insane.
I told Tanner, I really want to sign up for Rocket Money because it's like that thing that like catches all your subscriptions.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know there's stuff that we're paying for that we don't need. But then he reminded me that both of us got new debit cards this year.
So really cleared you out.
And he's like, so anything, like, he's like, I've gotten notifications that like things have been declined that I was like, oh, I didn't know I was paying for that. But he's like, well, but now it's canceled. So he's like, unless you've signed up for something recently, you should be fine. Because we both lost our debit cards like in the summer. And I was like, okay, that is fair. But also I'm like, why am I for some reason convinced that like there's 3 Netflix accounts hooked up to my bank account or something? I'm like,
because I feel like that is
please.
something that would happen to you.
I know, but I'm like, that's not even an option to hook it to your bank account on like most
Oh,
things.
bank account. Yeah.
Yeah, like you know what I mean? Like most things it's a debit card unless it's like, I don't know.
It's usually only like the investing stuff that's
yeah,
like,
or
we
like
need the
credit
routing number.
cards or whatever. But yeah, I'm just like, that stresses me out.
That's fair. This has turned into a little finance thing.
I know.
Okay, what's one of yours?
Well, my one was spend less money and put more money into the house. I also am just like, Tina and I were looking like at our money and we're like, why are there so many like $30 purchases? And it's like, on what? What is this? And it's always just
What
like
is
little
this?
things, little treats. And we're just like, that week could have had $250 more, but we had to do this little stupid thing. And it's just like, it's dumb.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like overall, I would love to just crack down in the new year. And like, I think Cole and I like said to each other too, we're like, we're really like lucky in the sense that like we just kind of, there is not really a budget. And it's like, I know that this gets taken out for the car and I know this gets taken out for insurance. And then the like this is being taken to savings or whatever. And I'm just like, we need to start paying
I know,
attention. It's
I
a
know.
luxury and we need to start paying attention.
I know. I told Tanner, I was like, we are so lucky too that like we don't have jobs that are like you get X amount every 2 weeks. Like we have the ability to go out and make more money using our services at any given time. I guess not any given time, but like, you know
Most
what
of
I
the time,
mean?
yeah.
Like you can take more work, as can really a lot of like a construction. They're like, okay, like I'll take on more jobs. But like, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm like, if I need to spend $500 on that, that's a third of my paycheck. And that's
it. And that's what I get for 2 weeks.
I don't have a side hustle. You know what I mean?
I know, I agree.
So very lucky. Okay. Kind of going along with what we were saying, one of mine that is continuing over from last year is go outside every day.
Oh,
but
nice.
I also am kind of putting that into, for the winter, at least just getting out of the house each day and going somewhere. Going along with the free stuff, there's a lot of moms on TikTok who are like, here's what I do with my kids that's free to get out of the house
It literally
every day.
makes me want to have a child. I'm like, that looks like so much fun.
Yeah, they like just go to
I love
Lowe's or like
TikTok moms.
whatever. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's like, do you guys have a Home Depot around you?
In Somerset.
Oh, okay. They've been doing this since I was a kid. I don't know if you know about this already, but like it's like the first Saturday of every month they do like a free workshop for kids.
Okay, I have seen that, and this sounds so weird, but it's always been Home Depot showing it to me. And I've always thought it was like almost an ad for like what you could do with their products. I didn't know if it was like real.
No,
like,
yeah, like my uncle is like a few years older than me, and I remember my grandma would take him every single time that they did it. I'm pretty sure it's the first Saturday
I have to look into
of every month.
it.
You have to look at it. Like sometimes they're building birdhouses, sometimes they're doing like their own little toolbox, and like it is so cute. I was like, yes, 100%, I'll be doing that. Farrah, you want to go?
See, that's so hard because Monty couldn't do it yet.
Yeah,
But it would be incredible next
for
year.
a toddler or like a 3-year-old. Yeah.
My dad would love to be the teacher.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine him? He's like, wait, you're going to Home Depot today?
Okay, I'll add in another one. I want to find more things to do that I like to do. I don't love like the whole like culture of like, don't like lose yourself in motherhood. Like you still need to like have things for you, like all of that stuff. Because I think that it's okay if all you are right now is a mom and that's like all you can be. But I also do feel like before I was a mom, I also didn't really have a lot of hobbies.
I was
But
gonna say,
since
like photo has been like your hobby, but then it also became your job.
yes. And then like also before I had kids, like a lot of my free time was just hanging out with friends, like going to coffee shops with friends, like whatever. And so I never really had like a hobby. But now that I am a mom, it's like, okay, like Tanner will be like, you should go do something for you. And I'm like, what will I do though? Like truly, I'm like, the one thing that I'm like always like, oh, I should do that is just get my nails done. But I'm
Yeah.
like, that's not a hobby.
Yeah.
So
You guys are in an interesting area too, because like for me, like for Cole, it's painting. That is like a hobby. And then also it's like becoming like a little side hustle, but he like deeply enjoys that. And for me, it very much is like running errands.
yeah,
But also like I love planning out a day where it's like, okay, I'm going to go to the cycling class in the morning. And while I'm out, I'm going to go to the co-op because I know we need more milk. And then, oh, actually the nail appointment place or the nail lake place I go to has an appointment available. So I'm going to do that. So like having those spaces like and that time set aside for myself. And it's like, this is like selfish hour is like my favorite.
yeah. I feel like I definitely used to be like that with errands, but now it does feel more of a chore for me. Like if I have time for me, that's like set aside. Like I don't want to use it to go to the grocery store.
That's fair.
So I'm like, I don't know. I'm very like, I don't know what to do. And Tanner's like, well, you could like go to the gym. Like if you wanted to like start doing exercise and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know if that's like what I want to use my time for. So right now, like I just decided that I will just go somewhere and read for a few hours.
I was gonna say you going to like sitting at the coffee shop in like Greensburg. And,
Yeah.
like, reading a book. I'm like, oh, that sounds like something she'd enjoy.
Yeah, so that's like what I've settled on for now is just like reading, like going somewhere and like reading, which I'm getting a special treat. But like
I know you've
I
looked into
need
this
to
for
get
years.
more.
Like, is there pottery classes or anything around here?
There's one actually in Ligonier, but
Stupid expensive.
No, it's not expensive.
Okay.
I'm just like, I don't know. I just like have a hard time committing to things that are like every week at a certain time. Because I'm like, well, what if something comes up? Our lives are just very like,
Yeah.
I feel like flexible. Like randomly, Tanner will be like, oh, there's a council meeting tomorrow, or like, oh, like this thing is happening for like soccer or like whatever. And it's like, I don't know. I also have a very hard time being like, but my thing matters too.
I was gonna say, like, you
Yeah.
put your stuff on there as well.
Yeah, it's very hard for me.
No, that's fair.
I have childhood wounds.
Deep down. And kind of similar to like your Northeast thing, travel through Europe with Cole.
Cute.
I then also put get photo page to 1K because like
Oh,
I
nice.
really started trying like in May of this year where I was like, maybe I actually like do care about photography. And it's because I feel like it kind of just is something that landed in my lap and I was just very lucky. And so like then people would be like, oh, can you do engagement photos? And like, and up until like May of this year, like I really hadn't done many solo weddings. And so I was like, okay, like maybe this would be a nice way to like earn income in the future. And so like I really started caring and got it to like $750 and I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm feeling good about this. And so hopefully by next year, you know, hit that 1,000 mark. If you don't follow me, you should go follow me. Zimmerman Photo Video.
Truly. This is not on my list, and not to like sound like I'm like flexing on you. My goal for literally the past 5 years, I'm not kidding.
Yeah,
It has been
for
in the
forever.
9,000s for 5 years.
That's crazy.
And every year I'm like, get the photo page to 10K. If I went back on every year, my notes, it
It would
says
say
like,
that.
it says get to 10K.
To be fair, I've said that for the church account as well every year. I'm like, get the photo or get the church account to 10K.
Let's see what it's at now. What if it literally says 10K? It's 9787.
Go follow Solich Photo and Film.
Anyways, not that followers literally matters at all. Like in terms of booking, like you could literally have 500 followers and book a full year.
Yeah.
Or-
and it's just also interesting, like what a full year and a full thing looks like to people. Like I've posted before, like, oh, we're only taking a few more weddings. And I've had like people slide up and be like, really? Like
You're booked.
you're booked? And I was like, everyone defines what their year of booked is. So
Yeah.
like, why are you going? Like, this is not anybody that would remotely listen to this podcast. But I was just like, well, yeah, we have full-time jobs. Like, I'm not trying to book 30 weddings.
And there's people who, and this was me, like our first few years, like will book double weekends every weekend. Like
Yeah.
the first year that we shot over 50 weddings.
Which is terrifying.
It's insane. And it's
Just if you're keeping track, 52 weeks in a year.
yeah. Do you know India Earl?
Yeah.
She's like a super famous photographer. She said that like when she first started, and she's in Utah, she was shooting 2 weddings every weekend of 1 year. Like she shot 2 or
Like
3.
so 100 plus weddings.
Yes.
That's terrible. Well, I mean, the way that Utah cranks them out.
I know.
If you're a photographer in Utah or Arizona, it is job security.
So
You just got to go
true.
find the Mormons.
Truly. But I will say, like, the Mormon weddings, a lot of times they do, like, the photos beforehand, and they just do, like, a session.
Yeah, it's like their bridal photos.
And they don't do photos inside the temple.
temple.
So, like, maybe they'll do some at the reception, but it's,
Maybe
like,
that's why she needs to book so many, because it's
2
not
or
that
3
long.
hours here and there. Yeah. I said, get better at prepping meal ideas in advance. I feel like I'm not good at all, and I have to be better with children because, like with Monty, I can't just wake up and be like, what should I make for breakfast? Don't have any ingredients. I guess I have to go to the store. Like, she needs to eat when she wakes
That
up.
girl's going to be angry.
So, like, I just need to, like, in my mind, be like, even if I don't know the days we're doing it, be like, this week we're having pasta, tacos, this, and like, make sure I have the stuff for it. Also, it's been very hard realizing, like, I need to make 3 meals a day now. Like, I can't
Because,
just...
like, you can let yourself skip, but it's like, she needs to fully eat now.
Yes. And I'm like, I usually don't eat, like, either breakfast or lunch. And then I'll eat, like, one or the other, and
Will
then,
you
like,
snack
dinner.
at all? Or will, like, the coffee
Yeah.
hold you over?
I'll usually have, like, what I usually skip is lunch. Like I'll usually have like something for breakfast and coffee, and then like maybe just like a snack, and then just pick at something and then have
But Monty
dinner.
is not satisfied.
I usually always do make dinner at home almost every single night, but like I just need to plan things out better and be like, okay, I know we have like even just chicken made that she could have.
It's night, yeah. And when, like, because obviously, well, not obviously, but like I know that we both buy our like meats locally. And so when you make a meat order and then like, no, it's in the freezer, it's like usually done in bulk. You're like, okay, I know that we have a pack of chicken. I'm going to do chicken and pasta, or I'm going to do a chicken tortilla soup or something like that. And I feel like I find it easier when I know the meat and then I kind of build around that.
I also feel like even for Monty, it's like I don't have to every single meal make like a start, a vegetable, a carb, a meat. Like I could just for lunch just give her chicken and it would be fine. So
Yeah.
it's like as long as I have something, but yeah, I just need to be better about prepping things.
This, I feel like moms might laugh at me for this, but the part, like, as I see TikToks and everything, the part of motherhood that I look forward to the most is making like baby food.
Like purees.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I think like I would love to do that for you, even if she's past purees now.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I feel like that looks like so much fun. I'll see like the moms like either like roast something and then put it in the blender. I'm like, ooh, like they're getting all those
you
nutrition.
can have my baby food maker.
You have one?
Yeah.
Oh.
I have a baby Brezza.
Oh yeah, I want that.
You can have it. I've used it twice.
Did she like it? She was like, whatever.
That's like the opposite like route of baby led weaning. It's giving them the purees.
Oh, because like they do go to solids.
Yeah, that's like the two ends of the spectrum. Like some people are like, let them feed themselves and give them big chunks of stuff. And then the other side is like, I'll feed you the puree on a spoon.
Oh. Can you meet in the middle and put
You
it
can.
in a bowl?
You can do whatever you want.
I got news for you.
But those are like the two like opposites. It is funny though, because like my parents obviously like did parenting different. And like when I would give her stuff, they would always be like, where's the baby food? And then like
Where are
even
the
now,
cans?
like she's been eating solid food for like probably 8 or 9 months now. My dad's like, so when are you gonna give her the baby food? I'm like, Dad, she's fully eating a steak
fully
right
past
now.
this.
And he's like, she needs to have like some form
My
of baby
parents
food.
would have saved so much money if I like weaned myself with whole food, because I feel like they've said to you before, they have said to me, I was 10 pounds when I was born. And so like, I was very big, and they said like, they would at like 3 months. Oh, was it 3 months? It was a very young age. They would like go to restaurants and pull out like 3 large things of baby food. And the like couple with them would be like, why did you bring so many? And they were like, watch this. And I literally would devour all 3 of them.
There's some kids that are just like that.
I know.
truly.
I'm like, my parents, if they were just feeding me chicken, like whole chicken and like steak,
Like just
I
whatever
would
they
have
were
been-
eating.
Yes, I would have been so satisfied.
Okay, what's your next one?
Well, okay, well, this gets into something. Like we've had some like shifts and changes at like church recently, and I just feel like it opens up a door for like leadership for me that I haven't really felt in a while. And so I put on my list, start a small group ? And then also just kind of step into more leadership like opportunities. And I'm excited about it.
Good.
Yeah, and that is
That'll be
all I'll
fun.
say. If you were here for tea, you're not gonna get it.
Yeah. That's exciting.
Yeah, I am excited. And I just feel like years ago, I mean, I was a youth leader, and I just loved being like a leader to like high school girls. And I just thought it was like such a fun age. And now that like I'm older, like I still like love like hanging out and like being like a I guess like leader to like high school girls or like just young girls in general. And so I just love women, you know. And so I don't know if it's in that capacity or like what it is, but I feel like I've always been I don't know, just a spiritual leader to girls. So
And a people person.
and a people person. And I feel like over the last few years, you know, life is just so, like, it's crazy. Like, I don't know about you, but like these last few years, I'm like, honestly, it's probably been since 2020. I was like, what is my life? Like, it went by so fast. I cannot believe I am 25. And oh crap, like what was I gonna say? Oh, I feel like over the last few years, like I've kind of sat back Like I stopped volunteering at youth at the end of 2020 and like have really just kind of hid behind the camera like at church, and it's just like, oh, like don't talk to me. And it's like that in some way became like my nature, but then in other ways I'm like, this goes against who I am. And so like there were like moments that would really like fill me up if like I talked to someone for like a long period of time, and then there's other times that I'd already show up like really drained. And so it's just trying to find that balance, and I feel like I am ready to be the people person I once was.
Good. I also feel like starting to do like more weddings gives you a good opportunity of being a people person too.
I love when I hit it off with like a stranger, and I'm just like, there was like one girl in particular, she was the planner at at our last wedding that we shot for this year, and her and I were just clicking.
Oh, that's
and
the best.
I was just like, we are soulmates. And like and she was like, I've been obsessed with your work. And I was like, that's incredible. Okay, actually, you want to hear a very crazy thing? That girl, I don't know if she listens to the podcast. If she does, shout out to Holly from Win.
Wait, I love her.
Really?
Is she pregnant?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I also really hit it off with her at a wedding that we did.
I wonder if she knows that we have a podcast together.
Sorry. Yeah, I met her at a wedding that we did together. It was more of like an elopement, and like it ended up that like all of this crazy stuff was happening, and I had to like help her like get all these candles ready, like get all these things set up, and we were just like talking so much about pregnancy and birth and everything.
She's the best.
I love her.
Okay, this is even crazier then. So she was like, she's with like Win Events, but in like, I forget what the main girl's name, Rebecca, I think. She was at another wedding, and so they were like tag teaming today, whatever. And I get there, and she's so sweet to me. Like, we have a great day, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is my last wedding. Like, I'm so happy. Like, it was so successful and so good and everything. Whatever. We DM very briefly. Then we are inquiring with this person on Facebook Marketplace about our couch, like the leather couch that we ended up getting. And I was like, hey, I like this couch. Can I come and get it? And this girl was like, yep, for sure. And so we show up at the house like to get the couch.
And it's her.
No, it is. This is so weird. We're like talking, and like, she's like, oh, like I'm just really stressed. Like tomorrow is my sister's baby shower. And I was like, oh, like that's exciting. And I was like, oh, like we were talking. I was like, oh yeah, we're in like the wedding industry. And she was like, oh, my sister's in the wedding industry as an event planner. And I was like, oh, like no way, with who? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not gonna know who. I don't know any event planners. And she was like, oh, she works for Win Events, and her name's Holly. I was like, I'm obsessed with her. And I was like, we are best friends. And so she was like, that's so funny. I'll have to tell her that you got my couch. And then Holly DM'd me and was like, you got my sister's couch.
That is so
just
funny.
A weird small world. It was just wild.
That is so funny. Wow. That's crazy.
I know.
That's so weird that you also love her too.
Yeah. I love her so much. And Rebecca is also great. I was like, any wedding that you guys are at, please bring me with you.
I love a lot of event planners. Like I think
I really haven't come in contact with a ton.
I feel like since we've like been more in the luxury market these past few years, it's like a lot of more people who have wedding planners.
Yeah.
And they're always just the most cutest girls that just have
so
the best little
sweet.
styles. Anyways, my last goal is to do a mud run.
We were talking about this beforehand.
Well, I just Googled it. Well, I thought it was only called a Spartan race. And I was like, I'm going to have to train. I mean, I'll have to train.
Intense.
I'll have to train either way. But like, I just Googled it, mud run near me. And like, there's like a lot of them are 5Ks, like you said. And this one says 3 miles with 25 obstacles. The obstacles are what I'm really wanting. I'm really wanting to feel like I'm at a military training.
Did you watch Special Forces?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think the reason, look at that one. It looks so fun.
There like a bunch of like the youth team from church went and did one this summer.
Did you know Tanner's mom did one like a few years ago?
No.
I should actually ask her if she wants to do it with me, because she like keeps saying that she wants to lose weight, which she doesn't need to. But I was like, the one that they did before was called Mud on the Mountain. And I was like, you're going to have to do Mud on the Mountain again. And she's like, maybe I will. So maybe I'll ask her to do it with me.
Oh, that'd be cute. You guys can go on walks or runs to train.
Yeah.
But like the best, I did one of those in high school, and the best thing about them is nobody gives a shiz, and you can walk the entire thing if you want.
I'm not trying to like actually do good. I just honestly want to do the obstacles. It looks so fun. And also, like I said, like I don't do anything fitness wise. I especially hate just like doing something that there's no goal in the end. It's just like lift, down, lift, down. But this just looks truly, there's one where you walk over fire.
What?
We left a series of fiery flames for you to jump over.
Whoa.
Look at it.
Oh, I feel like I actually might have done that.
Okay, I have to do this one. It looks so much fun.
What are the dates on them?
Let me like find the nearest one to me. But
What if we did a Let's Debrief mud run?
Ashley, if you did it with me, I'd be so happy.
I would do it.
I want everyone to do it. Like if we all just did it
together,
it would be so fun. Locations. But yeah, that's my last goal. I got nothing else.
I put on mine, which we have talked as a group before of even doing something possibly together. But I would love to go live somewhere else for a month. I don't know if it'll be a 2024 goal. I just think it would be fun. I feel like we have family that live in a bunch of different places throughout the States. And if we wanted to, we could rent an Airbnb, or we could go live with family. You know, like if we wanted to go live in California for a month, go drive out there and live the California life. I have really been itching. I go back and forth. I literally said that like over the summer too.
Yeah. We said we were going to do that this winter, drive to California and live there. But like now that it's actually here, I'm like, I'd rather just go
to Costa Rica.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. We don't have, like, we're going to go, I don't even know if I told you this. We booked flights the other day to go to Florida in January because I was like, might as well.
Yeah.
And then we're going at the end of February, but I got nothing going on for March.
Well, do you feel like if we came to Florida with you that it would be like a requirement that we join you at Disney World? Like, would we like not see you at all if we
would
didn't
you go one day?
Maybe.
I would. You wouldn't have to pay for Monty.
To Universal. You don't want to do that.
You would not like Universal.
You don't like roller coasters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go. I have to do it for you at some point.
We could go to the beach. We could do other stuff. It's just my parents' placement is just so hard because it's like they're right in the heart.
Well, there's a pool, right?
There's a pool
at their complex.
Yeah. And like when we went with Joe and Shayla, we did one day at Disney, one day at the Universal Water Park, which
the water park sounds really fun.
The water park is the best.
The one that's in PA is in Scranton, and it's July 27th. And then the one in Columbus is in May. So it's kind of soon. But there's one in Florida.
Let's go. We're all packing up and we're going.
But yeah.
Okay.
We'll find one.
More to come on that soon.
Yeah. Got anything else?
I think that's all I'll say for now.
We've been talking forever.
I know. This has been a long one, and we got to get another one in because the holidays are here, and I'm leaving.
Yes. So we'll talk to you guys next week.
We hope you had a very Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year. And this, which like I didn't say in the beginning, but like this episode is episode 52, marking a whole year of like, I guess we'll do like maybe like a year long like one.
Because it launched on January 17th. So how does that work?
Well, because we had these back. I don't know. We never doubled up or anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. But 52 weeks of the podcast, that is a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of us. And this was a really good year. And it was the year of Let's Debrief.
Absolutely.
We love you guys. Have a happy new year. And we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.